Everyone, Vicki Griffith with Breakthrough. And today I'm going to be giving you a warning about some things that have been happening, and it might be happening to you and you don't understand or want to know why. I've got some answers for you today. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Vicki Griffith, company's name is Breakthrough. And I work with people who've been struggling with building their business, sales growth, or releasing weight to achieve the goal that they want to achieve easily with a lot less effort than they could ever imagine. But here's what's going on. I had 2 clients contact me last week on the same day within a few hours and said something is happening. Things are really wonky. Energy feels wonky. I feel emotional. I feel irritated. I feel anxious. I don't know what's going on. Well, here's what's been going on, and there's several things going on. So first, we went through a couple of years that we went along with, got through, thought we got through, and the trauma of that, even though we all handled it quite well, we didn't realize it kind of snuck up on us until now. And now it feels like everything is intensified. It feels like everything is rough. It feels like even the smaller things that we could have handled easily in the past, it's difficult or it's hard to get past. It creates much more emotion. And so that's why is that we really didn't heal from the 2 years that we had change after change after change, and we all adapted quite well. But now we're like the mind and the body are saying, no more change. I can't do this anymore. But it keeps happening, doesn't it? So there's tragedies that have been happening. There's tension around every time I turn around in some kind of social media network, there's some kind of negativity popping up on my news feed. If you watch the news every day, they will give you as much negative information as possible because it keeps you informed. The brain actually kind of likes it. It really is addicted to this negative piece. That's what the brain does anyway. It's always on guard. It's always looking for what is dangerous in your surroundings. That's its job, and to protect you that way. So the more you feed it, the more it wants to look for. So maybe cut back on some of those, the social media time, on the news time. Cut back on even people that you might love dearly that might be toxic in that way, that might be negative. It doesn't mean you love them any less. It just means you need time away from them. Or be prepared to manage your energy while you're around them. You can call it protection if you want to, but you realize that whatever is being triggered within you is within you. So you have control over that. And here's a couple other things that were happening that most people didn't attribute to this wonky energy, these wonky feelings, this uptight, this irritation that we all feel, and even the smallest things that are happening in our lives, is that we just finished a Mercury retrograde. I think we were just out of it last week. There's about 2 weeks of shadow time afterwards. And so I know that sounds wonky. Why blame it on the planets? But there is an energy shift that happens, and it usually is felt around that timing. There was also a lunar eclipse. Now, you all know that the waves of the ocean, of the big lakes, even the smaller lakes, are all contributed to the moon. Tide goes in, tide goes out. That all is because of the moon. So if the moon has that much energetic frequency to be able to move the oceans, you can bet your body is affected by it as well. And so with the eclipse, that was being felt. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't study any of this And I was having some emotional upset a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't figure it out because I didn't feel like it was mine. I kept asking myself, is it mine? My question was, or my answer was no, but I didn't know why I was feeling that way. And so this kind of helped me understand and put things in proportion, that there is a lot of energy out there right now that is, many people call it wonky. And it is the tension, and it is, I mean, supply shortages. Some of my clients can't get product to sell. That's going to create tension in their business. Have you ever gone to a grocery store lately and a shelf is empty? I went to the grocery store a couple weeks ago, and not only a shelf, an entire 2 doors in a freezer section was empty. All of the shelves in 2 doors was empty. That causes tension, and you might walk away from that going, oh, well, they just don't have it this week. I'm sure they'll have it next week. But that little grain of tension begins to build up. It's kind of like a snowball effect. A snowball on the top of a hill this big, and by the time it gets to the end, it's the bottom base for a snowman. So keep that in mind. There's all these little irritants that may be festering into this wonky energy that you're feeling. So what do you do about it? There's several techniques, and none of them require lighting a candle or sitting in lotus position, just for you to know. Several techniques. Don't do this while you're driving, for sure. You can always pause this video and go back to it when you can sit down, or even when you're standing. But don't do this while you're driving. You're going to always put your hand on your chest, and you're going to take a deep breath in. And as I do this the first time, I'll break it down for you at the second and say, I am safe. Another deep breath. I am safe. And one more time, deep breath in. I am safe. So let me break it down for you why we're doing this, for those listeners and viewers that want to understand the whys. I get you. I am one of you. So this is something I put together a few years back and discovered that it really, really helps people shift their energy very quickly. And this is why, is that this movement or this feeling of just patting yourself on your chest is very comforting. If you've ever held an infant in your arms and you're looking at their eyes, you're usually patting them on the chest. It's a very comforting feeling, and we as adults still like that too. So just putting your hand on your chest is helpful. Taking a deep breath in and out brings more oxygen into your body so your body can function better, so that your brain can think better. When we get stressed, we get irritated, we breathe very shallowly, and that forces less oxygen into our brain, so therefore we get confused and out of focus. So this is going to help the opposite. You'll feel better able to make a decision. You'll have clearer thought by getting more brain into the oxygen into the brain. So that just alone, any of these alone will work amazing. Together, they're phenomenal. The other thing you might have noticed that I was doing is I was smiling. Don't always feel like smiling, but do it anyway, because it actually sends dopamine and serotonin into the brain, which are two feel-good chemicals. Don't know why. Science has shown that if we smile, that happens. And then the wording, I am safe. There are 3 things we want to hear when we're a child. You're safe, you're okay, and it's going to be okay. We don't have anyone to share that with us as an adult. So you're going to do it as saying, I am safe, I'm okay, and it's going to be okay. Doesn't need to be in that order. You don't need to do all 3 of them. You could pick one of them. Maybe one of them is your favorite. As you're doing this technique, you can keep doing that over and over again. Now, what we just did was 1 round. We're going to do 2 more. You always do this in rounds of 3. Why rounds of 3? Because 3 is a very spiritual number, and it's also inviting in the spirituality of that. So if you think about Jesus was nailed to the cross with 3 nails, There's a lot of references in the Bible about the number 3. And so we are just inviting that relationship to God, universe, spirit, whatever, higher self, whatever you call it, into our lives at this moment. All right, so hand on your chest, take a deep breath in, smile if you think about it, and say out loud, it's going to be okay. Again, breathing in. Out loud, it's going to be okay. Claim it, demand it. Not a question. Another deep breath in. It's going to be okay. You do it again, one more time. Deep breath in, smile. Release the breath. I am okay. Deep breath in. Smile. I am okay. One more time. I am okay. Now I invite you to play with that. 3 rounds of 3 is a protocol, but again, change the wording. I'm okay. It's going to be okay. I am safe any way you want. You could say all of them during one round. One round is a set of 3. You can choose one like we did and do one each round. You can choose one of them you don't like, so don't do it. And do 2 of one of the other. Doesn't matter. But what matters is you put your hand on your chest, take that deep breath in. Smile and recite one of those. 3 rounds of 3. And I'm betting you'll find clarity of focus, clarity of thought, a sense of peace. And what if you did this 2 to 3 times a day? What did it take us? 20 seconds? How would your life be different? How would your eating be different? You're one of my weight loss clients. If you did this 3 times a day, how would your eating be different? I bet it would. You might be more willing to take care of yourself and eat appropriately for the ideal body weight you want. You might find that you're picking up the phone to your surprise and making phone calls that you didn't want to make. Or that project or that email or that Facebook Live or whatever it is in your business to help grow your business. If you have any questions at all, at the very end slide, it will show you how you can get in touch with me. We can have a one-to-one conversation privately about what's going on for you and help you move past this irritable, anxious, maybe feeling as my phone rings telling us, yes, it's time to change that. It's time to let that stuff go and to figure out how to move forward. Because I know you have hopes, I know you have dreams, you have wishes, and it feels like sometimes you failed. Well, maybe it was just one more stepping stone. Let's get you on to the next one. Until next time, sending love. Bye now.